Welcome to the Inspiring Marriages Podcast. We are Jeff and Teresa Fields, and we are thrilled to have you with us today. The incredible music that you heard in our intro was the incredible work of our very own son, Joseph Taylor Fields.
We've been happily married for 32 amazing years. Along the way, we've been blessed by 3 incredible children. And we have a fantastic son-in-law and the most precious grandbaby you could imagine.
Get ready to be inspired. As you open up about our journey, our mission is to ignite a spark in couples everywhere. We're all about nurturing deep friendship and cultivating marriages that thrive in every way. Spiritually, emotionally, romantically, and physically. Join us on this incredible adventure.
Be sure to check out our website at inspiringmarriages.net. Dive into all our previous episodes with detailed show notes that will enrich your listening experience. Plus, scroll down to find our Keep in Touch section where you can sign up and receive our latest offerings absolutely free. That's right. And don't miss out on the inspiration. Visit us today.
We're continuing in our series about intellectual intimacy. This is an area of intimacy that's really not talked a lot. I don't really see a lot of terms of using intellectual intimacy out in either books or in teachings, either videos or whatnot. But it's really the unspoken romance. It is really important for couples to develop intellectual intimacy, but it's really not talked about. We kind of do it without thinking about it.
Right.
So last week we gave 6 tips on how to develop intellectual intimacy, and we're going to give 6 more tips on how to develop intellectual intimacy. Our working definition of marriage is a man and a woman, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, and physically intimate, working together in a shared life to help each other realize their visions and dreams, walking with God to fulfill their callings and goals. Intimacy, intimacy, a profound connection built on trust and mutual respect, where the deepest thoughts and emotions are shared openly without hesitation or fear of judgment. It is a space where vulnerability is met with understanding, and true closeness flourishes spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, and physically. In our definition of intellectual intimacy, it means it involves deep conversations and shared ideas. So last week we started talking about mindful connections, how to nurture intellectual intimacy and love, and we gave 6 tips. And real quick, read and discuss books together, attend workshops or classes, share interesting articles, start a hobby together, discuss your day from an intellectual perspective, and watch documentaries and discuss them. So Teresa, today we're going to give 6 more tips on how to develop intellectual intimacy. And what do we have?
Well, number 7, or we could say the first one for this podcast, is visit museums, galleries, or lectures. Yeah, attending lectures is good. Set aside time to visit museums, galleries, or attend lectures on subjects that stir both your hearts and minds. These outings offer enriching experiences that allow you to engage with art, history, and knowledge in profound ways. We can always learn new things, right? And it's more fun to learn it together, isn't it?
That's right. As you explore together, you deepen your understanding of each other's perspectives and reflections, which in turn enriches your connection. These shared moments of discovery help you grow closer spiritually as you begin to see the world through each other's eyes, gaining new insights that unite you on a deeper level. I just remember a time a few years ago where we visited Glen Rose, Texas, and we visited the Christian Evidence Museum.
Yes, Creation Evidence Museum.
Creation Evidence Museum.
It's amazing.
And Dr. Carl Ball, we didn't know he was going to be there. And Dr.
Right.
Carl Ball was there and gave a lecture. It was fascinating.
It was so fascinating. He used to do TV programs on TBN, just talk for a whole hour on creation and all the evidence that is in history and in books and in, things that they've discovered in the earth. And to have him there in person was really a treat. That was so special.
It really, and we got a postcard in the mail last week from a local college where they were offering advertising faculty lectures where you can pick a subject and go. I don't know if they may have charged for it. I don't know, but charge for it and you can go attend it. It was, there was one that's like, oh, that would be interesting to sit in that lecture.
That's right.
So even though there's like 4 main areas of intimacy. There's the spiritual, intellectual, emotional, and physical. They're not 4 different worlds.
That's right.
As you work on one, it enhances the others.
It does. I was going to say impacts the others, but I like the way you said it better. It enhances the others. That's so true. I like that.
So take the time to either, I don't know if you have a museum or a local college near you, but a lot of museums have free days and they have different things. But take the time to either go in person to visit a museum, gallery, or a lecture, or certainly you can do it online. There's certainly connections where you can watch a lecture together online. That's certainly an option. So you're not limited based on where you live. There are always options.
Right. All right. The next one is have regular big question conversations. This is interesting. Create sacred space in your relationship to regularly explore the big questions about life, philosophy, your future, or the ethical dilemmas that stir your souls. There are so many issues going on in the world today. There's a lot to choose from, right? These conversations invite both of you to think deeply, reflect on your core beliefs, and share your most profound values.
This practice nurtures mental intimacy. That's really what the goal is here, is to nurture the mental intimacy between you and your spouse. And as you do that, it will nurture your spiritual growth as it challenges you both of you to articulate your deepest truths and discover your shared beliefs that will strengthen your relationship.
That's right. That's right. It's amazing how, to think along the same lines, it makes such a difference. You don't have to wonder, like, if I'm going to step out in this area, or if we're thinking about our marriage taking on a new challenge or trying something new, well, we need to know if we think alike about this. Like, what if one of us wants to run for office or something? Well, what do we believe about political things or about our city or our community? That's good to know where we are on the same page about things. That's so important.
Now, this is a new one for us. But as we read these tips, and we're like, oh, that's intriguing.
Yes.
So the third tip today, write together. Writing together is a deeply intimate and spiritual way to connect.
Right.
Whether it's crafting stories, journaling your dreams and aspirations, or even starting a blog to document your shared journey, writing allows you to express your inner worlds in a way that's both personal and profound.
Oh, I really like that. Oh, we could really write some stories, couldn't we? Lots of things we've been through together. As you write together, you gain greater insight into each other's thoughts, feelings, and desires, fostering mutual respect and deeper understanding. This creative act becomes a spiritual practice where your words and hearts intertwine. That's so beautiful. Building a bond that transcends intellectual and touches the soul. That's so good.
Philippians 2:3 says, Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself.
That's right. That's right. And it's kind of like in anything, if we take turns and we give each other a space to express ourselves, whether it's emotionally or intellectually or any kind of way, that just enriches your whole marriage, doesn't it?
And on a personal level, it's kind of like this podcast. So a year ago, we started almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago.
But just a little over a year ago, we first started even planning a podcast. We had no idea we were going to do a podcast together. Teresa really had it on her heart to start a podcast, and I was just doing the research to help her get started. And as the more we delved into it and more we discussed it, well, we should do a podcast
together. Yeah.
And we had no idea it was going to be about marriage.
Right.
So as we were exploring our ideas and what we could talk about, it came to our surprise.
To our surprise.
It came, we should do a podcast about marriage. And I thought if I thought we ever going to do a podcast, I would have thought it would have been about worship. Because the first 33 years of our marriage was all focused really on worshiping and leading worship together.
Worship ministry.
Worship and and just helping each other and just working together, developing songs and recording them and
building a ministry.
Leading worship together.
That. Yeah.
So that was really the focus of the first 33 years of our marriage. And then as we were focusing on a podcast, next week will be our last episode of the first season 1, and then the following week, which will be Valentine's Day, we'll begin season 2.
Amazing. Season 2. Wow. We'll still be in this on all of these lines that we've been talking about, though. We won't be starting a whole new series, but just continuing with these intimacy series. So good. So our next tip is play intellectual games. That sounds fun. Engage in games that challenge your minds, such as chess, trivia, or puzzles, as a way to nurture intellectual connection. These activities engage your mental faculties, creating moments of playful competition. I hope it's playful, right?
It's playful.
Some people are super competitive. Creating moments of playful competition while also offering opportunities for collaboration and shared laughter. I think my highest order is like Scrabble. I'm not a chess player. Never learned to play the game.
Teresa is an excellent
I like Scrabble
player.
I like to spell.
As you work together to solve problems or outwit each other, you deepen your connection not only in intellect, but also in spirit. The joy and fun you share in these moments create a sacred space where your bond strengthens and your minds unite in a dance of joy and growth. Now, we say intellectual games, but it really can be anything where you're spending time together, where there's strategy involved. I mean, it could be Jenga. It can be even when you're not competing, like putting together a jigsaw puzzle together. It's something that you can do together. And it's in the notes mention chess, but there's also checkers, or there can be any
dominoes.
Kind of dominoes,
a lot of
or
people love dominoes.
Uno, or Yahtzee, and there's all kinds of different games. It used to be Friday night was time for family get together, family game night, and that's one of our marriage builder tips: is have a game night during the week with your family. Just some night you set aside for a family activity. It kind of reminds me of that Carol Burnett sketch of the family where they're going to play a game together, and the Carol Burnett character was very aggressive. They were going to play sorry, and of course when you land on somebody, you say sorry, and they got to go back to beginning or something.
Yeah.
But everybody kept landing on her piece and sending her back.
Yeah.
back to the beginning. So she thought everybody was ganging up on her.
She didn't take it well.
End up screaming and yelling at each other during their fun game night. It did not end well.
Did not end well. Oh, don't be that family, right?
Just have fun.
Just have fun.
John Legend says, a couple that supports each other's dreams will have a happy and successful future together.
That is so good. Yeah, you have to know what your dreams are. So like we were talking about the journaling, have you ever talked about your hopes and dreams for your life, your marriage, your family? You know, what would you really love to see happen for you and for your family,
That's
for your
good.
marriage? Something that is kind of close to your heart. It might be something you wanted when you were a child and you never got to do.
Wow.
You know, that's like, I always dreamed about going to this place or being this kind of, you know, traveler, or, you know, doing just something that, you know, your heart's always desired. It's okay to talk about those things. And, you know, really when couples do that, it can become a reality. You'll see them, you know, off, you know, hiking some trails somewhere, or going on a dream trip, or, you know, investing in something that really adds to their life. And, you know, that's what it's all about. Marriage should always be growing, always getting more richer and richer, and just benefiting all the way around your whole life, spiritually, emotionally, romantically, physically, everything.
Our next tip is cook new recipes together. While cooking may not seem like an intellectual activity, delving into complex recipes and understanding the science behind different methods is a beautiful way to stimulate your minds. The process of planning, researching, and problem solving together can open new dimensions of connection and learning.
As you create nourishing meals together, you are also nourishing your bond, blending creativity and intellect in a shared experience that strengthens your connection to both a mental and spiritual level.
Something that we've been enjoying ever since it was a marriage builder before was cooking new recipes together. We subscribe to a salmon, a fresh Alaskan
salmon.
Alaskan salmon together. We get a shipment every couple of months, and what we try to do at least once a week, we try to have fresh salmon where we bake the salmon and we try different recipes. But we've been enjoying that activity ever since.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to bake salmon.
Didn't know how to cook it at all.
And we just looked online and found some recipes. And the Alaskan company, on their website, they have recipes. So it was pretty simple. And we tried different things. Lemon pepper. We tried garlic, and we tried grilling and baking. So we've done different things, and we like them all.
Yeah, we like them all. It's nice to try it different ways. Yeah, it's really delicious. And I know the first time we made it, we were so excited that it turned out well. So we took pictures of our food and took pictures together. Like, hey, we made a salmon dinner together. It was fun.
And I think it tastes a lot better than the local restaurants. To me, it does.
It's very fresh. It's really, really good.
A lot of the local restaurants have Atlantic salmon, and we don't want that. We want fresh Alaskan salmon.
It's much better.
Our last tip this week, number 12, number 6 this week, and 12 overall, support each other's intellectual pursuits. One of the most meaningful ways to foster intellectual intimacy is by supporting and encouraging each other's intellectual passions. Whether it's a professional project or personal interest, showing genuine interest in your partner's pursuits deepens your respect and admiration for their mental and spiritual growth.
And Mother Teresa said, I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together we can do great things.
That's good.
That's so good. This support nurtures a sense of shared purpose and encourages both of you to continue developing individually and together, strengthening your bond in the sacred space where intellectual and emotional connection meet.
Right. That may be an additional education that one of you may pursue, whether it's formal or informal. Maybe
Right.
you just want to take an online course and that's not accredited, and it is something that you really want to do, and your spouse can support you in that pursuit, where
Right.
they can kind of help share the duties, or take a greater load of the duties for that time, to let
yes.
the other one concentrate on their studies and just support each other in that way, whether it's online Bible class or even maybe
Right.
a online degree, or maybe it's a local degree, or you may want to go back to a physical school and get education, or
That's
a
right.
bachelor's or associate's or bachelor's or even a master's. That if that's something that your spouse really desires, or is a calling upon their life, you should be willing to support them and do what you can to give support in that area.
That's right. That's so important.
And there's so many places where you can get people offer classes online that really they're economical, and
That's right.
so that you can, if you wanted to get increase your knowledge about something, there's ways to do it, and we should support each other in our
yes.
intellectual pursuits.
That's right.
So we've seen where intellectual intimacy not only enhances emotional bonds, but also promotes a sense of partnership and collaboration. By prioritizing intellectual growth together, couples can navigate life's challenges with a shared perspective, ultimately strengthening their relationship and ensuring it remains dynamic and fulfilling. So the questions we have for you, you can either put a comment in the video, or send us an email at inspiringmarriages@att.net. How do you and your partner nurture your intellectual intimacy? So next week, we're going to give signs to look for to see how well you're nurturing intellectual intimacy. And I bet you're already doing it. Exciting news. Catch our audio podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts. We would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave us a review. Do you prefer watching? Head on over to YouTube and search for the Inspiring Marriages channel to see us in action. And for the ultimate convenience, listen with your smart device. Just say, Siri, play the Inspiring Marriages podcast. Join us wherever and however you prefer to tune in. This week's Friendship Builder. So this week's Friendship Builder is...
Cook a brand new recipe together.
Yeah, a brand new one. So Teresa and I
No
will...
cheating, right?
So Teresa and I will have to find another dish to cook.
Yes.
We can't rely on our salmon recipe to count. So we also do these friendship builders. So we will look for a brand new recipe to cook together.
I don't know what it's going to be.
We don't know what it's going to be, but we will give you an update once we discover it, and once we cook it.
That's right.
Together.
We'll give an update.
Yeah. So we might have to go out and shop for ingredients. We don't know.
Find a good recipe.
We will find a good recipe and we will cook it together. So, our friendship builder this week: cook a brand new recipe together.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Join our vibrant community on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe for the latest updates and behind-the-scenes moments.
Got something on your mind? Shoot us an email at inspiringmarriages@att.net. We're all ears for your questions or suggestions on how to enhance our podcast. And if you have any ideas on topics you'd love us to dive into next, let's keep the conversation going. Always remember, husband and wife are friends for life.